In this episode of Detroit Performs, a Grammy Award-winning jazz bassist gives back to young musicians. The spotlight shines on a downtown Detroit Labor Day staple. An historical piano is donated to the University of Michigan. And a multi-Grammy-winning jazz pianist gets personal. It's all ahead on this edition of Detroit Performs.
Funding for Detroit Performs is provided by the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs, MGM Grand Detroit, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, I'm DJ Oliver and welcome to Detroit Performs. Today's episode focuses on music, but not just any type of music. Nope, today it's all about jazz. That's why I'm here at Cliff Bells, a jazz club located on Park Avenue in the heart of Detroit's entertainment district. To start us off, Grammy Award-winning jazz bassist Christian McBride's passion for music isn't just about performing. It's also about giving back to musicians who are just starting to carve their very own musical path.
I am here at Schoolcraft today as part of a week-long residency at Michigan State University. I grew up in Philadelphia, and Philadelphia is not very far from New York City. Any touring musician based out of New York inevitably would have to come through Philadelphia. So I met a whole lot of musicians who came through town and gave clinics and workshops. And I think for that reason, that's why I wanted to become a professional jazz artist. When those great musicians would take those precious hours and come to talk to us at our school, you have to give that back to the younger musicians coming up. I was called to work with the jazz students by my old friend, the great bassist and educator and mentor, Mr. Rodney Whitaker. Give him a round of applause. I've known Rodney for 26 years, so we go way back.
And I've known him since he was 15 years old. And so I think that you get to see the mentorship in action. You get to see this interaction of generation of musicians. And I think that's probably the most important thing, is that we as the elders, so to speak, inspire the young musicians to want to do this. The beauty of today's performance will really be about having a good time. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you'll see generations of jazz musicians.
Playing in front of Christian was very nerve-wracking because I have most of his albums, so I look up to him very highly. However, it was a very good experience. Christian McBride is a professional, and he's done everything that I can only dream of doing in the future. So every piece of advice he gave today, I'll take away.
So important. Always keep your eye.
I came especially to the master class because somebody's willing to teach me, who's successful in the jazz community, how to be a better player and how to be a better instructor and a better musician. I wanted to come and learn. You don't really get a lot of chances to play in combo, especially for an instructor at his caliber. It was very interesting, the feedback that he gave, and it was very refreshing to actually get some compliments from him.
I love your sound on the trombone. I was back there talking with Rodney. I said, that brother man's smooth.
I thought it was very great about how he wanted to make it personal, you know what I mean? He wanted to make sure that everyone learned, and he wanted to make sure that everyone was integrated into the program.
Bass is much better felt than heard. I mean, you got to hear it too, obviously.
I just came to hear Christian McBride and hear his advice.
Feel the bass coming from down here.
He's amazing. His soloing is crazy, and I really want to try to make that part of my playing.
Sometimes people misinterpret mentorship as you take someone by the hand and you show them the secrets. That's not what that is at all. Sometimes mentorship is just allowing someone to sit there and watch what you do.
It was really cool playing before him in the master class, but when I got to play with him, I didn't really have a feeling because I was kind of like shocked. He's the reason why I played the bass, so it was very fun to play along with him and a dream come true.
Christian coming is spectacular because first of all, everyone's like, wow, Christian McBride is coming, let's give him our best. And he makes everyone better, he makes everyone motivated. And once you hear him play, you think that you, as a musician, can reach that level eventually if you practice hard.
The main thing I want to impart to any of these young students is that there's absolutely no substitute for hard work. The world's a huge place. You can't just play with 100 different bands that more or less played a similar kind of thing and think you got this. You got to learn some different kind of music and learn about some different cultures.
Jazz demands that you're open, that you're accepting, that you're tolerant of all human beings. Because you can't play on the stage unless you're flexible with musicians that are improvising.
It's a big world out there. You can never stop learning.
You can learn more about Christian McBride and all the other artists found here today on DetroitPerforms.org. Each year, during Labor Day weekend, Detroit buzzes with jazz sounds from Campus Martius to Hart Plaza. We went down there to check out the music for ourselves. The result, the Jazz Fest, shown in poignant pictures.
To me, what's amazing about the Jazz Fest is that it is amazing, and so few people realize that it happens right in downtown Detroit, right on the waterfront, the most beautiful real estate, and people come from all over the world for this. You know, we complain often about the city not having amenities and the city not having culture and arts, and nothing could be further from the truth. We have some of the best things, and they're not new. They've been here forever, and I think it's just a matter of getting the word out and letting everybody know the great things we have right here in Detroit.
I have to tell you this. I was Berry Gordy's first female protege. I never signed with Motown, and I'll tell you why. What happened was, we went into United Sound, he recorded the songs, and I'm like about 14 and a half to 15. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you all the business, but basically he wanted this percentage for management, and the agent would get that percentage, for booking. And my mother said, well, who pays for the hotel rooms? He says, your daughter. She says, who pays for the gowns? Your daughter. Who pays for the airfares? Your daughter. Well, what does that leave my daughter? I never signed, so I was underage anyway, so it just didn't happen because Barry would not. But Barry was just a real stubborn man. I'm sure you all know. I think he forgave me, but I kind of feel down deep inside there was like a little bit of grudge.
One, I faithfully document it. Two, I use the technology available to me to respect, particularly when it's acoustic, respect the beauty of the sound that's created from the instrument and from the ensemble, and make that help the artist make that presentation to the audience the very best it can be. And that could mean any number of things at any given moment, but that's my job. It really isn't about anybody other than the artist. It's about translating that, and that, again, for me, is especially critical in acoustic music. In pop music, sometimes you're part of shaping that in a more specific way, but with this kind of music, when it is acoustic, it's really about, for me, it's about faithfully translating that performance in the most sonically beautiful way that I can do it without mechanically doing things that don't exist in the real physical world.
So these festivals don't let you forget. This was the Jazz City. it's just so many artists. I mean, people that were DJs here and kept, you know, and I just wish we could have something like that again. We need to hold on to the jazz. You know, so what are we gonna do? Just let their music die, or are we gonna keep it alive? We owe them that respect because they made so many sacrifices to provide us with music.
It's poetic and it's prophetic in that there was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy who wandered very far away, etc., etc. But the last couple lines, since I was in high school, stayed with me, and I didn't know what the hell it meant until I was a grown man. The greatest thing you'll ever know is the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. Toss those words around in your head.
At Cliff Bell's, you can enjoy a candlelight dinner while taking in one of their daily jazz sets. Music from all over the world has found its way to the stage here at the club, from New Orleans brass to more avant-garde stylings. Now, let's check out some upcoming events happening in and around Detroit. To discover more events in Greater Detroit, visit Ixody.com. I like my jazz with a little piano thrown in. And thanks to George Gershwin's nephew's donation, the University of Michigan has just added an historical piano to their collection at the School of Music, Theater, and Dance. The 1933 Model A Steinway piano was recently presented at a special concert. Let's check out the story.
I'm so grateful to the Gershwin family for donating this instrument to the University of Michigan School of Music, Theater, and Dance. It sort of makes concrete this new relationship the university has with George and Ira Gershwin's art and their legacy, which is sort of a two-part initiative which involves a critical editing project, a research scholarly project to create new scores of all of the Gershwin brothers' creative genius, as well as to introduce to our students the power and magic of the Gershwins' creativity.
It's such an honor to have this opportunity to be able to play on George Gershwin's piano, the actual George Gershwin's piano. George Gershwin is an icon as far as American music is concerned, even world music.
It was made known to me very early on that it was Mark Gershwin's desire that the piano be made playable and available to faculty and students to perform. So that's when we got into this question of how do we restore this instrument? Immediately we knew that the soundboard would have to be replaced because there was a huge crack going through the original soundboard and underneath the bass bridges and that sort of thing. So it was clearly irreparable. And so we made an early decision, first of all, not to refinish the instrument because we wanted to still look like the piano that he worked on. And when we sent this instrument to piano crafters, we sent it to them with a great deal of confidence because they are experts at duplicating every aspect of an original soundboard. They do everything in their power to absolutely copy what was originally there. once we receive the piano back from them, we engage in working on the machine, the keyboard, the hammer action, and then the other action that most people forget about, the damper system.
Certain sections of this piece where there's a lot of very fast repeated notes, it helps to have the quick action that this piano has, because a lot of pianos, quite frankly, aren't able to handle this piece. And on this piano, I can execute that fairly with ease, versus other pianos, it's almost like I'm fighting with the instrument. In that sense, it's really one of the best instruments I've played on, and it's only 6'4", yet it sounds like a 9-foot Steinway in a concert hall.
The true soul of the piano is the rim. It's the case. And the soundboard just represents the heart of the piano. Even with a brand new board, those pianos still sound like the era from which they came.
There are 3 Gershwin pianos in the United States. One's at the Library of Congress, another's at the Songwriters Hall of Fame in New York, and the third one is now here at the School of Music, Theater, and Dance at the University of Michigan. But this will be the only instrument that's really going to be an active concert instrument, and our students will be playing on these instruments as part of recitals, as part of hopefully recording projects that we'll develop in conjunction with the Gershwin Initiative.
It's George Gershwin's piano. It has the same sound, if not better, than when it was brand new. It still sounds like a 1933 Steinway Long A, and it still sounds like the piano I believe George Gershwin would have fallen in love with.
Up next, we catch up with someone who could definitely master that Gershwin piano. Los Angeles pianist Billy Childs merges classical music with smooth jazz. Raised in a household decidedly split between pop and Baroque music, Childs was practically fated at birth to bring these two genres together.
My dad was into the MJQ and the popular music of the day, Barbra Streisand, Nat King Cole. My mom was into like the Baroque music, like Bach, Haydn, Handel, Scarlatti. What really is appealing to me is to try to make that music congeal into an organic whole. Having been born and raised and living in Los Angeles, I kind of live under the tyranny of good weather. So when I went in 2007 to upstate New York during autumn, I was struck by how beautiful the autumn in New York was. The different colored leaves on the trees, the orange, the amber, the gold, the red, spellbound me. And I wrote this song, The Path Among the Trees, which was inspired by that scenario. I saw this little path as we were driving on I-95 that went into this forest of beautiful, this riotous profusion of colors. And I said, what would a journey be like down that path? To me, there's like a lot of different ways you can compose. You can compose as an impressionist, observing the outside world and writing your impressions of it, or you can be an expressionist, writing from the innermost, darkest places of your soul. You could write programmatic music, which tells a story, or just music, like as math, you know. Music for Two Quartets was commissioned for the Monterey Jazz Festival, and it's written for string quartet and jazz quartet, piano, bass, drums, and sax, and string quartet. This was a very large, ambitious piece. I wanted to write something that really was written for string quartet and jazz quartet.
To find out more about Billy Childs, visit the Detroit Performs website. And that wraps it up for this edition of Detroit Performs. As always, for more arts and culture, head to DetroitPerforms.org, where you'll find featured videos, blogs, and information on upcoming arts events. Also, don't forget to like us on Facebook and Twitter. We'd like to thank Cliff Bells for letting us come by here and enjoy some jazz. I'm going to stick around and enjoy some jazz tonight. Until next Tuesday, get out there and show the world how Detroit performs, y'all. I am DJ Oliver. Thanks for watching, guys.
Funding for Detroit Performs is provided by the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs, MGM Grand Detroit, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.